Hello and welcome. Today we are going to uh, build a small project to demonstrate how to create a use the date picker widget in Flutter. So we'll start off by creating a Flutter project in Android Studio. I've given the basic settings for this project. So when the project is going to open, it is going to open with the boilerplate project that Flutter comes with. So I'll just start the emulator right now. Okay, I'll just uh, clean up this project. We'll remove all the comments. Okay, we'll run the project now. Okay, now we have this project. The boilerplate project, as you can see, comes with 3 elements here: two text elements and a floating button. We'll just remove everything from here. Remove the text widget that shows us the counter, and then we will also remove the floating button. Okay, now we have cleaned this up. We want to add an icon button here that will open the date picker dialog, and we want that button to be beside the text element where we will show the date. So that is why what we will do is we'll enclose this text that you can see now on the screen inside a row widget. We'll add a icon button to the row widget so that both the text widget and the row widget are side by side. So icon button is the widget that we are going to add, and we are now going to give it a icon of a sort of a calendar kind of icon. So this is how it's going to look. As you can see, Now let's add a on pressed callback. Okay, so let's format the code a little bit. Now let's start writing a function that we want to call on when the button is pressed. Now the function will have a return type of future void. We need it to be future because the date picker dialog is a asynchronous function which returns a date time, which basically resolves to a date time variable when the user specifically selects a date from the pop-up dialog, but it can also resolve to a null if the user does not select a date and just cancels out. So we have to give this a await qualifier because this is an asynchronous function and we want we want our code to wait till the function returns. So this function show date picker has 4 required parameters. First one is the context, which is basically the build context. So we have to pass the build context to this open date picker function, and then we pass on this context to the show date picker function, and then it has initial date. Initial date is the selected date, the date that will be selected by default when the date picker dialog opens up. Then we have a first date. First date is the starting date range that will be allowed for the user to select, and the last date is, as you can understand, would be the last date that the user will be allowed to select. The initial date has to be a date which falls within the first date and the last date. We'll give initial date as now, and we'll just hard code the first date and the last date to a date range. For now we'll just set it 3 years before and 3 years after, so 2017 and 2023 for now. We'll later change this, 2025. We'll just declare a variable where we will store our date, and we will also initialize this variable to a message so that that message gets displayed when this app loads at the first time. So we change this over to the variable. So as you can see, the message is now displayed on the app. So now we're going to check for null. If it is not null, then we are going to do a set state and assign the returned date value to the selected date variable here. That's it, our function is done. Now let's wire this function up with on pressed event. Just a matter of writing this code here. We call open date picker from here. Project is ready. Now let's just test it out. So we click it. So yeah. The formatting is not right right now, so we can let's change this. To change this, what we're going to do is we are going to use a internationalization package. Let's import it to our pubspec file. First of all, let's do a pubget. This will load up the package into our project. Now that it has loaded, we can now use it in our code. Let's import this. Okay. Since we have imported a new package, we'll have to restart the app now. Okay. Now we will change the set state part of it to use the internationalization package. Use the date format class of that package to show the date in a nice format. So let's use YMMD format. Okay, and to string, and we are done. Let's test it out now. Okay, see here, it's now nicely formatted. Let's do a code formatting, and right now we just want to change the first date and last date to something dynamic. We don't want it to be hard-coded. We simply want, we can take a year, 3 years previous to the current year. We'll add that code now here. So we do a get date datetime.now.year -3. That will give us 3 years previous year, and then we'll do the same to the last date. We'll add another 3 years to it. Okay, let's test it out how it looks now. So if I open the year selector, as you can see, our year is restricted to 2017, and let's open it again to 2023. So we are sitting in right now, it's 2020, so 2017 is the is the year that you can go back to, and 2023 is the year you can move forward to. Okay, now let's do one final thing. We want to middle align our elements, so let's do that. We'll simply add a main axis alignment. We'll put in main axis alignment as space around. Obviously this is now spreading it out all around, so we'll have to since this is in a columnar format, we can change the column widget to a row widget, and that should bring this together. Okay, so yeah, so obviously it looks a little bit better. In the next video we will take a look at the time picker as well, and let's just make a little bit of change to the app header. Thank you.